Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, starring Jerry Springer with Gene Galvin and me. I am Maria Corelli. We are recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience here in Folk School Coffee Parlor of Ludlow, Kentucky. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Jerry Springer.
Oh, thank you. It's another year. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year.
You almost didn't make it tonight.
Almost didn't make it. Got stuck on the I-75 bridge in the greater Cincinnati area. We call it the Brent Spence Bridge.
Yes.
Was on it for an hour and a half, right in the middle.
Oh, my.
Stopped dead.
Yeah, and you almost didn't come here. And when I told people you may not
I
be
wouldn't
here
say
tonight,
that.
there was total silence.
Hell's that mean? No, here was Plan B.
Nobody-
Plan B was I was going to do this. Where I was going to jump in the river,
Oh, yeah.
swim to the Kentucky side,
Yes.
stop at home, change clothes, come on
Yes.
down there on my bike.
Yeah, I can see you didn't get a chance to change clothes.
Oh, well,
No, you got that for Christmas, I bet.
I didn't. I've had this for 2 years.
He's wearing
Thanks for noticing.
a blue
I've worn it
plaid,
to
a blue plaid fleece.
a blue plaid fleece.
Yeah.
North Face, by
Yeah.
the way.
North Face.
I got
Ooh.
this sweater for Christmas. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I saw. Hey, and I know, and by the way, Your Honor,
Yes, thank you.
Your Honor, Jerry Springer.
Yeah, was I introduced
yes.
as you? Well, thanks
Ooh,
for
my bad.
forgetting that.
It's,
Oh,
ladies
man.
and gentlemen, Your Honor, Jerry Springer.
Order! The court will be cleared.
Here comes the judge.
Yeah.
No, because, and again, you never know, so a new listener might not know, but Jerry we'll have a show in the fall called Judge Jerry.
Yes.
And Maria and I are still trying to figure out how we fit into it, and that answer has not yet come, but we're happy for you, because if you're happy and you're rich, then we're happy, not rich, but we're happy and, some...
Well, this
things
much
are
I
wrong.
do know so far is you don't fit into it.
Thank you very much.
Hey,
That is clear. You've had
No,
meetings.
but
You've had
I'm not
meetings.
sure what Judge Jerry means yet. I know that's the title of the program. It either means that I'm going to be a judge, or it could mean that people will be out there judging me.
you.
Yeah. And that won't turn out
Let me
well.
ask
It
you,
really does.
this is today
Yes.
is Elvis's birthday.
Yes.
And you and I are old enough, we lived through the Elvis era.
January 8th, 1935.
Yes. Maria,
Yes.
you know who Elvis Presley is.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when you look back, because Maria Corelli, our third voice, is a singer-songwriter and a damn good one, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Gene. Thanks, Jerry.
And you are an Americana / folk / roots performer, songwriter, singer. Do you have, give me an honest answer, do you have any respect for Elvis Presley?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Well, I do. So,
You want to stay on this podcast?
well,
No, go ahead.
Jerry's a fanatic.
do you want to hear how I kind of
Yeah.
got introduced? Well, you hear Elvis Presley's name, and of course
Yeah.
it's Elvis Presley. But I just recently kind of got into country music and was introduced to Wanda Jackson,
Right.
who was the queen of rock and roll. And she was known to be kind of like the female Elvis in a way. So I started writing, my writing style kind of turned into rockabilly and like rock and roll
That's interesting.
a little bit after I was listening to her. And that's how I got into Elvis's music.
That's interesting.
Like deeper into it more than just the name Elvis Presley. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
Roundabout
music
way.
was really a combination of country, blues, and gospel.
And gospel church.
Yeah,
church
and
music,
towards the end of his life, he was becoming, with his music, very much gospel, very much religious.
Yeah.
I mean, he would just have religious sing-alongs in the green room with the crew there before he came out on stage. I mean, it became very
Yeah.
big to him.
He was, I thought, really good. I got bored with him as time went on musically, but I thought he was really good. But he was sort of like a Frank Sinatra, where he wasn't a songwriter.
No.
They would fake it as if he had written some songs. They had some ghostwriters, and it was a money deal that Colonel, what's his name? Parker did, where they claimed Elvis wrote this. But so he wasn't like Buddy Holly, for example, who was very important, died way too young. There were some rock and rollers of the same period who were extremely creative. Bob Dylan who came out of rock and roll, got into roots music, but he really started in rock and roll. But just to give us a flavor of Elvis Presley, Jerry Springer,
Yes.
this is unbelievable. We do this every year. We've been doing this on this podcast for the last, I don't know, I can remember 21 years. It could be longer. We have Jerry on Elvis's birthday sing Elvis.
Right. And please, I want to thank the person that clapped.
Thank you very much.
No, but here's the thing. What people don't know, and a lot of people don't realize, is I sound exactly like Elvis would have sounded at 75.
Okay, yeah.
It's true.
So-
Stoned.
Yeah.
Stoned.
Yeah.
Hit it, as they
Hit
say,
it.
right?
Love me tender, love me true, never let me go. Oh, my darling,
Facebook Live.
I love you, and I'll always will.
Bring it home.
Love me tender.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Wow.
If I cussed, which I don't, that's fucking unbelievable what he just did.
Can you guys beep that out later?
Yeah. Hey, get
Well,
that out of
that
there.
would get me to cussing.
Yeah,
Listen to
yeah.
that. Oh, man.
That was,
hurt.
That was
that's
excellent,
impressive.
Jerry.
That
But you know
hurt.
what? That's very entertaining.
I'm Elvis at 75.
That's very entertaining.
Of course, he'd be 84 today.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Nobody cares.
We got an email.
Oh, my.
I pick every now and then an email from, we probably get 400 or 500 emails a week, and I'll pull one out, and this is the one I'm going to read tonight. And it's
I'm sorry, I missed that.
what?
How many emails do we get? a
400 or
week?
500 at least, and I pull one
Yeah,
out.
it's that's equal to the number of terrorists that are coming across the Mexican
That's a
border.
good point. That's a good point.
You must know Huckabee
We actually
Sanders.
got 6 is how many we get.
Yeah, okay.
A year. No, this is addressed to Maria Corelli and Jerry Springer, and there's a note that says, this is not to Gene. And it is from Carolyn Stubing. She's from Portland, Maine. She writes, please stop Gene Galvin from talking about his pet project, unlimited mileage, period. It's stupid and it's dangerous, period. Full stop. Stop him, comma, please, exclamation point. Now,
Well.
I'll tell you what, I'll abide by that.
I could
will no
believe
longer
there are
talk about
400
it.
of those.
I will abide by that. Now, I don't think it's talking about it to recap what the hell it is, because you're going to read an email.
Don't recap what that
No,
is.
you have to. You have to.
Violating
Well,
the
people
thing.
won't know what we're talking
Well, it's
about.
also not environmentally sound.
No, it's not.
No.
That's a good
Because
point.
your thing, you can take 2 sentences of it. What it is you want to set the Guinness Book of World Records.
Thank you.
For renting a car for 1 week.
Yes.
On unlimited mileage.
Thank you.
And who can travel the most miles on unlimited mileage on a rental car in 1 week. That's how Gene wants to be remembered.
Thank you. You said that. By the way, you recapped that very well.
Yeah.
So
But you
sorry,
left out
Carol.
one thing.
What?
3 drivers, 24 and 7, stopping only for bathroom breaks, getting 3 meals a day at drive-thrus at McDonald's. Why? Because they time-stamp all the receipts, Maria, and it will show where we were and prove to the Guinness Book of Record. I contacted...
How is that different than a truck driver that has to go cross?
Gene's suddenly realizing
Country.
this.
because he's not driving more. Let's say he drives 8 hours at a time.
It's a good point.
And so you just would be driving 8 hours at a time if there are 2 other people in the car. So what's the big deal? Why don't we give the award to every truck driver that helps our commerce here in America and
We
brings the
should.
goods and services that we want to our country? Let's hear it for the Teamsters, for God's sakes.
Holy crap. No. Look, You freaking idiot. Here's the difference. The difference is the car. It's not the driver.
45
It's the
years, my
car.
best friend. He's never once called me a freaking idiot.
No, Jerry, it's the car. So it's 3 drivers, always one driver asleep in the back, one driver up bullshitting with the driver and joking around and talking to talk radio on the
that's
phone.
fascinating, Gene.
Okay, so Maria, I talked
two
to the
people talking together in
Must be
a
a-
car. Holy cow!
No vision.
Where did we get that idea?
Hey, I contacted the Guinness Book of Record. It's in England.
Did you really?
I did. I really
Okay.
did. And they really said, oh, hell no. They really did.
That was all they
said,
had in the
We're not
email."
doing this.
And you paid for a long distance call.
Well, I did it by email, actually. I didn't call them. I emailed them. But they wrote back, oh, comma, hell no. We're not doing this. So, but I got an idea. And then I swear I'm off of this.
What is it?
I promise I'm off of this. Yeah. Bryce Carlson. Do you remember who he is?
Yes.
He rowed across the Atlantic Ocean
Yeah.
and set the record, captured the record
Yeah.
for how fast you can row across the ocean. One person in a rowboat.
Yeah. And you think
Oh,
your
no.
idea is comparable to what he
Well,
did?
there's a new thing going on
Now
relative
they're going to
to
have
him.
3 people do
No,
it.
no.
And rent the rowboat.
We had Bryce on this show in the middle of the North Atlantic, and
Yes.
then he came and sat right here in this chair on our show on
Yes.
Dry Land and talked to us. Turns out, because I do my producer research, Bryce Carlson has been selected by the Guinness Book of Record, and they are going to put him in the book.
Yeah.
As one of their key guys. They're going to feature him. He's going to be like a spokesperson. So I figure we, preferably you, because you're a celebrity,
Oh, man,
contact
big,
Bryce, get Bryce to run some interference for us, block for us, and get the damn Guinness Book of Record to let us do this. So we 3 set the
What?
record this summer.
We 3 are on a rowboat.
We
Which-
3. No.
which
We,
3?
well,
Which
hey,
3?
I kind of like that idea.
Jerry's
No.
on a rowboat.
Jerry's on a rowboat. No, we're in a rental car driving around America. So do that. Make that happen.
I have drivers that do that for me.
Yeah, that's true. Maria, I have a question.
What's up?
You, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a serious injury, both my back and also I think I broke a rib in Florida. 2 separate injuries separated by 2 or 3 days.
Yes.
I'm healing. I've probably pretty much healed. Thank you both for asking.
Good.
I feel pretty good.
You
So-
look like garbage.
I know that. Yeah, it didn't help that. You told me that
Oh, how you feeling, Jim?
you don't feeling better. You told me that you do yoga, and you said to me after a show, "Hey, Gene, because you know I do a lot of outdoor stuff. I do, and Jerry does too. He's a great exerciser and a great outdoorsman, rock climber, and this.
He does rowing.
He's into rowing. But seriously, you're a runner and you're a climber and you do yoga. You told me that.
Yeah.
You swear by it.
I swear by it.
I mean, it's really good for a lot of things.
Oh yeah. I think that it is if everyone were to at least practice stretching in some form, I think that it could help a lot of ailments or the prevention of
That's where
a lot of
here's where I was headed. Could you, and seriously, I think this is about as much as we're going to get out of Jerry. Could you teach Jerry here on the air in the next, let's say, minute,
Oh yeah.
how to do some yoga?
I think that we could do that.
And get him
What
to
do you
do
think,
some
Jerry?
yoga at the microphone.
Well, my favorite baseball player was Yogi Berra. Does that count?
That's all we need.
Yogi. No, I can do.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You want to do some?
Come on, go.
Come on, Jerry.
I want to see what you do. And
We'll
then
get
I'll,
on. You get on up. But listen, we'll start
Wait,
with an
I
easy
can't-
one,
Yeah,
and then we'll
Jerry.
do a hard
Unless you
one.
throw money to the floor, I'm not bending.
We're gonna start with an easy one. All right. This is one that everyone knows how to do.
All right, mic's up, Jerry.
Yep.
We're gonna just touch our toes. Very simple.
We'll touch
Ready?
our toes. We can do that. That's not too hard.
Well, now what? What's the
So
next
we're just
part?
gonna bend down.
Oh, well, that's
Oh, that's the one that
unbelievable.
I have a little trouble
you don't have
with.
to. You don't have to go too far.
Oh,
you don't have
that
to
feels
push
pretty
it too
good,
much.
Jerry. Come on, get down there. Oh my God.
Toes. And this is good because it's kind of an inversion on your back, so it
Yeah.
kind of decompresses the spine.
Cheating because I'm bending my knee. Could someone help me up? I want to be able to do the rest of the podcast. No.
Sit down, Jerry.
Yeah, this is
Sit down.
This is absurd.
All right, maybe we'll just start with we'll just do the easy one.
Yeah, that's about it. As
People
much
who are
as we'll
not
get out of
watching
Jerry.
us on Facebook need to visualize this.
Yeah, well, Jerry
is
did yoga.
ridiculous.
End of visualization. Hey, let me ask you. There's one other quick thing, and I'm going to ask you a question about impeachment because you talked about it once before, and there could be some change in your view. I've been hearing the streets are talking, but here's something I want to mention: the Whispering Beard Folk Festival. Maria Corelli, you've performed in it. Mm-hmm. It's a good one, isn't it?
It's awesome, yeah.
And it's been held for years of late in Friendship, Indiana. Draws, I don't know, how many people? Catfish, how many people does it draw? I don't know, up to 1,000 people or
yeah,
so.
1,000, 2,000.
Couple thousand people.
Yeah, I was there with you.
You were
3 years ago.
there, and,
Yeah, well,
and we did a podcast from there, and
Yeah.
it's where we met the Harm Brothers, who are
That's
performing
right.
tonight, by
That's
the way.
right.
We love the Harm Brothers.
Yes.
And they've all moved. They came, I think, from Portland is kind of where they hail from the West Coast. They've moved into Ludlow.
Yes.
It's amazing what's
We
going
got
on
'em.
in Ludlow.
Yes.
3 more of what we call the creative
Yes.
class have moved into Ludlow. It's very interesting. Singer-songwriters from around the country. But Whispering Beard Folk Festival has moved from Friendship, Indiana, which is a great place, to Cincinnati on the riverfront.
Yeah.
Smale Park.
That's
That is huge.
yeah, because the crowds are going to be huge. That is,
Oh, my
and
God.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great for the performers. It really is. Congratulations.
And it is
You
a
guys have been
wonderful thing
working
to
at it.
hear. In
Yep.
late August, it's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, and I got to talk to you about this, Jerry. We can move around something that we do every summer, and maybe we can. Maybe there's a little bit of flexibility to move it to a different weekend so that we could be there.
We'll
for
have
that.
to talk to the Becks.
We'll have to talk to the Becks to see
Because because you're performing outside of that store there in Charlotte.
in Charlevoix, I usually busk up there. I
Yes.
have a busking operation. to
Do
up
you
there.
really?
Well,
I did.
It
I
was
didn't know that.
embarrassing. Gene was standing there in front of the storefront on a main street there. He starts playing the guitar. He either had a hat or your guitar
I had
case.
the guitar case open.
And I put $1 in there ahead of time just so people walk by.
Prime the pump.
We
Bait it,
then,
yeah.
the rest of us, went across the street to watch. I swear to God, for 20 minutes,
Sure, I did a set.
you didn't make a penny.
Well, I wouldn't
No
say.
one, people would come by. No, it was great. People would walk by, and Gene's good. But they would walk by, they'd look at Gene and talk to themselves and continue. And we're saying, okay, this couple's going to stop. This couple's going to stop.
That's so
Finally, some guy
sad.
did stop, but he was talking to you about the guitar.
No, guy stopped and says, I got my harp in my truck. Can I join you?
Yeah.
And I said, hell yes. We
You
got
could
his
split the
blues harp.
proceeds. It's 50
and then he
cents
came
each.
and we did some stuff. At any rate, if we could
Shift the weekend so that you
be,
can
oh
go.
man, I'd like to see this thing.
Yeah.
And I just think it's going to, there's some major festivals around the country that are in the roots genre, Americana genre. Newport Folk Festival is one of the granddaddies of them all.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I think that the Whispering Beard, with that potential of a crowd, I think it's going to really rise. I'm
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
excited about it. Did they talk to you about joining the float for opening day of the Cincinnati Reds, which is the oldest professional baseball team
Yes.
in America? And you're a Yankees
1869.
fan. We respect that.
Yes.
But you respect the Reds. You've
I
got
do.
history in Cincinnati.
I do. I remember. Well, even when I was mayor, that was during the Big Red Machine, and
Yep.
I'm mayor here in Cincinnati, and I'm
That'd be
still a
like
Yankee
Johnny
fan.
Bench, Tony Perez.
Yeah. Oh, I was friends
Floyd,
with these
a lot of
guys. It
those
was
guys,
great. But I was born and raised I was raised a Yankee fan in New York, and the Cincinnati. One day I was supposed to throw out the first pitch, and the Cincinnati Enquirer ran a headline: "Springer Yankee fan." And so
Whoa.
I throw out the first pitch. 50,000 people. I remember there booming.
Oh, is that right, Jerry? That
Yeah,
happened.
that
That's
actually
interesting.
really
Oh my
happened.
gosh.
Yeah.
That really happened.
Well, we take our baseball seriously, Rand.
Yeah, well, I found that out. Yeah.
So anyway, they're-
seriously, Cincinnati's giving serious consideration to bringing professional baseball here.
Shut up. Shut up. Hey, they're
Why do I do that?
I don't know.
It's so counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive. The Folk School Coffee Parlor will have a float, and they would like you to be part of the float. We could hype Judge Jerry. We could hype the podcast. There will be music playing on the float. Have you ever been on that float, Maria? That opening day?
Yeah.
It's fun,
I've
isn't
played
it?
music on there.
I thought you have.
Take me out to the ball game. We played that for about an hour.
Yeah. That's what we call a loop.
Actually, I
right?
never want to hear that song again.
I hear you.
Just kidding.
You could do some harmony here. Yeah. You could be the
But
Harmony Brothers.
sing it
and
like
stuff.
Elvis would.
Yeah.
Take me out to the ball game. I said, take me out to the ball. Thank you very much. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. Thank you very much.
That's damn good, Jerry.
And give me a couple of drugs. Hello,
Yeah.
testing.
Hey,
1, 2.
So, are you thinking of doing that? Or would your schedule allow? That would be fun. All the podcasts, you'd be on it. We'd all be on it.
I would do it. It's purely a schedule issue.
Okay.
And that's the weekend we may be in Florida.
Oh, well, then can't do that.
Yeah, but that's if it's a Thursday, we still may be able to do it.
All right. Well, we'll look into it because it would be
Oh,
fun.
we're going to look into it.
If schedule
we-
permits, it would be a blast.
Maybe we could Skype your face.
There
from
you
Well,
go.
here's the
float.
good news:
Project
the Reds
it.
will be tied for first place.
That's funny, Jerry.
You're
Not
fired.
a game played.
You're fired.
We get it, you know. Hey, you on a podcast a month or so ago talked about impeachment and kind of surprised me a little bit when you said, no, that's not a good idea. And you had a lot of reasons why you felt that wasn't a good idea. And then I heard some rumors downtown Cincinnati as I was walking around that you've changed. What?
Man, how do you shovel all that stuff in you?
So anyway, what I was wondering is,
Yeah.
have you changed your position?
Well, I still don't think impeachment, at least right now, is a good idea. In general, there are exceptional circumstances whereby you finally reach the conclusion, yeah, that's the only choice we have. I don't like the idea of impeachment as a means of changing presidents because I think it delegitimizes the whole electoral process. And I don't want that to become habit-forming, that the losing side, whether it's justified or not, the losing side gets so angry, the campaign was so bitter, that some crazies will start an impeachment movement. And every year, in other words, campaigning will never stop. If we can't settle on a president in a presidential election for 4 years, then I think that says something about the stability of our government. And I think there's a reason why no president has ever been removed by impeachment. The threat got Nixon out, but other than that, the two presidents that were impeached, they didn't have the votes to throw them out. So I think there's a reason for that. So I haven't changed my mind on that. I still don't think it's a great idea. Where I'm starting to change my opinion is in the last couple of weeks, I've been rereading all the stuff I have on Watergate. And it struck me that there is such a thing called the reality of the moment. The conventional wisdom, which I clearly was going along with, and I confess to that, I was saying that it won't be hard to get an impeachment because all you need is a majority of the House, and now that the House is overwhelmingly under Democratic control, it's not hard to see that if the Dems chose to do it, that they could get an impeachment. But then you have to have the trial in the Senate, and you need 2/3 of the Senate to vote the president out. That means 67 senators have to do it. Well, the Senate is overwhelmingly or is solidly Republican. So no way you're going to get 67 votes in the Senate to throw Trump out in the current reality. And that's the part I'd like to stress, the current reality. Because what Watergate was about, which we don't think about, 40 years later or whatever, 45 years later, what we don't think about is that For the first 2 years of Watergate, Watergate was, I think, June 17th of 72. And Nixon didn't resign until August 8th of 74. So it was more than 2 years later. For the first 2 years, despite the Watergate hearings in the summer of 73, despite the testimony of John Dean, which riveted the country, for those of us who were alive and, adults or whatever, we were riveted by what John Dean, who had been the counsel to the president, he had turned on the president, and his testimony was unbelievable. His mind remembering everything. Even with that, the Republican Party stayed solidly with Nixon. The polls were still solidly for Nixon. So it only turned, and it turned literally in days, from overwhelming support for Nixon. But when the tapes came out, and then the Supreme Court, ordered the release of those tapes, and Nixon, for all his crimes, was still an institutionalist, so there was no way he was not going to obey the Supreme Court. I mean, he had some respect, even though he obviously violated laws, but he had respect for the whole concept that he was a lawyer, for the concept. So when the Supreme Court made its decision, Nixon wasn't thinking of getting the troops out and not obeying the Supreme Court. So when the tapes came out and showed his guilt, within days, it went from solid support for Nixon to get Barry Goldwater and other Republican leaders going to Nixon and saying, you don't have the votes to survive an impeachment, and we think it best that you resign. And Nixon resigned. He didn't want to become the first president to ever be removed from office by an impeachment. And he couldn't handle the shame of it. So that made me think, wait a second, we're thinking now there's no way there's going to be 67 votes to throw Trump out in this Republican Senate. But what if reality changes? And what would a new reality be? Reality will change if the following things happen, which are not out of the question. Starting now, for the next several weeks, months, maybe a year or more, we're going to start to have congressional hearings. And these congressional hearings, now that they're ruled by Democrats, will have subpoena power. And the congressional hearings will be televised. So all of a sudden, America's going to see every day more and more testimony about bad things that Trump and his people have done. Then there's the Mueller report. We don't know what it's going to say yet, but if the Mueller report comes out with crimes that Trump and his people committed, that will influence what reality is. Then, if the market continues to go down and the economy starts to go down more, then all of a sudden, that's going to change reality about what people are feeling about Trump. Republican senators, and 22 of them, are running for re-election in 2020. So all of a sudden, they're going to start looking at the polls. If the economy's going down, if the hearings are showing that Trump and his people really committed crimes, if the Mueller report comes out and says he really committed crimes, all of a sudden, they're going to look at the polls. The American people are turning on Trump even more than they are now. And all of a sudden, they're going to say, you know what, I got to worry about my own election. I'm going to lose my own state if I keep supporting Trump. So all of a sudden, they won't be so solid for Trump. And then what if Trump comes out and declares a state of emergency? That's going to go to the courts. And Chief Justice Roberts is an institutionalist. So even though he tends to be conservative, in some cases very conservative, he has a love of the institution of the Supreme Court. And he is not happy with Trump's view of the judicial system. So I think you can take it to the bank that if Trump challenges orders of the federal court, he will not win in the Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court, as constituted now, is conservative. Roberts will be the deciding vote, and it may not even be 5-4. It may even be more, because now the court is being challenged. If Trump says, I'm not going to listen to your orders, I'm going to declare a national emergency when there obviously isn't one because 6 people came across the southern border. I mean, this whole business is absurd. So now all of a sudden, that will create a new reality. And then, with all of that happening, the likelihood of some Republican running against Trump in the primaries. If you put all that together, not one thing that I just mentioned is out of the realm of real possibility. The hearings, the Mueller report, the stock market, the economy, Republican senators worried about their own election, the Supreme Court stepping in so that orders and subpoenas are followed. All of a sudden, I got to look at that and say, why was I saying that there's no way that there would be 67 votes to remove him? So that's the part of my mind that's changing. I may have been wrong about that. It's right according to the current reality, but Nixon is a reminder that reality changes very quickly, very quickly. But it's going to have a different ending than Nixon had. Nixon resigned. Trump will never resign. And in a sense, from his point of view, you can't blame him. And the reason is, for all of Nixon's crimes, they were federal crimes, and they never had to do with enriching himself. I mean, in fairness to Nixon, he never became a wealthy man. He never was stealing money. That never was the complaint about Nixon. He was violating some sacred things about the Constitution, etc. And he clearly was committing crime, but there were federal crimes. There were political crimes. And the general feeling, even though there's no evidence that there was a deal that if he resigned, he would be pardoned, there was a sense that if he resigned, everyone wanted to put Watergate, all the politicians wanted to put Watergate behind them. You know, the national nightmare is over, were the words that Ford used at the time. So Nixon could resign pretty much knowing that he wasn't going to be prosecuted. There were no state crimes. He wasn't going to go to jail. And in that comfort level, that was an out for Nixon. For Trump, resignation is not an out. For Trump and his family members, much of his crimes are state crimes. So there is no pardon that protects him. There's no deal that can be made. In fact, I would argue that if a deal is made that he won't be prosecuted for state crimes, that could be an abuse of power by the state prosecutors. Think about it. You can't pardon them. You can't pardon, let's say, his kids and Trump for state crimes once he's out of office, because they're state crimes. So you can't go to a state prosecutor and say, you know what? If we can get Trump to resign, will you agree not to prosecute his kids? You're not allowed to do that. For a political purpose, you're going to let someone go? You can do that as a prosecutor in bargaining over sentencing for someone you prosecute or choose not to prosecute, but you can't do it for political purpose. That's extortion. That's like a prosecutor going to Trump and saying, resign from office or I'm going to prosecute your daughter. That would be a crime, extortion. So Trump has no out by resigning. He's stuck. The only way Trump can leave office is either by the voters or by impeachment with a vote by the Senate. Only the voters and senators can remove Trump. Voters would do it in 2020. Senators could do it beforehand. But that's the only way he leaves. He will not resign.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Love me tender.
We have Elvis Presley on the podcast tonight.
Yeah.
You guys, I want to go ahead and introduce our musical guests tonight. We have the Harmon Brothers once more again on the podcast. We are huge fans of them here, not only on the podcast, but here in Ludlow, Kentucky. They're a bit of road warriors out there on the road. They are well-traveled. They are constantly touring, promoting their material, coming out with new material, and we love hearing from them every time. So as they settle in here, I'm going to go ahead and ask them about this first song that they're going to choose to play. How about you guys? We've got Ray Vietti over there on guitar and Alex Salcido over there on the banjo. So these guys have a full band a lot of the time, but right now it's just the Harm Brothers duo. So yeah, go ahead and tell us about the song that you guys are gonna have picked up for us tonight.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
We are gonna do a couple of new songs for you, actually. We have been working on writing for our next record, and so we are actually working today and just kind of touching on things before. So we want to play you a couple of the new ones. The first one is tentatively called Where You're Going, and it's about being okay with losing someone on this plane. We'll say it on this plane. We'll call it that. So it's called Where You're Going. We're going, I can't quite go just yet. And though I'd like to go along, there's so much more left. But hold my hand, it's gonna be okay. It'll be okay. We're going, I can't quite go just yet. I know you're leaving and I know it's not the end. 'Cause you'll never be too far. You're always in my heart. Always in my heart. Tattooed on my wrist, all your love forever stitched, and this bond no one can break, no matter how far through time and space. And we're going, I can't quite go just yet. You know I'd like to go along, I need to see this to the end. When my time comes, I know you'll welcome me with love. And when my time comes, I know you'll welcome me home. Know you'll welcome me home. Yeah, I see you back home.
Thank you guys. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
I know as a musician myself, I always want to know about the creative process. And the Harm Brothers.
I can tell you.
Oh, is that right? We do want to hear, though, what is the creative process like for you guys? How do you guys go about writing songs? I know you mentioned you are writing some new ones right now.
Well, I think it's changing. At least right now, I think we're at a shift where we're about a decade into this whole show, and we're starting to open up more, working together on things. I think it used to start out as we would he would have a thing, I'd have a thing, we'd come together and just try to see what fit and what fit the story that we're trying to tell. But I think right now we're at a point where we're really just trying to work together as one and try to come up with something interesting.
If you had 4 sentences or 5 sentences to tell us, what is the story you're trying to tell?
I think we just try to tell just life. I could just give it
Life
one
experiences.
word. Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
That's just what it is.
Maybe the notion that things can be incredibly difficult and heartbreaking, but you got to keep on trucking, as they say.
Good.
And what is this next song that you guys are going to play for us?
This is another new one, and it's kind of in that vein of whether you're going through something personal or just absorbing what's going on in the world. It can all get very overwhelming, and I guess this song is tentatively titled "Ride It Out," and it's kind of sort of about something like that. And it goes a little something like this. 1, 2, 3, go. I swear this song is almost finished. Just give me one more year. The end's inside one way or another, whether it's there or here. I haven't learned a thing except the awful truth. It all feels like one big heart attack. Let it pass you like a wisdom tooth. Oh, write it out, take a deep breath. Don't let it cover you up like death. Don't call the family just yet. 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 I forget what I was writing about. Feels like I always will. What if I never ever see a thing, or even from the top of the hill? I swear the song is almost finished. Let it pass you like a kidney stone. Let it maybe help you try to do better. Let it get you back home. Oh, write it out, take a deep breath. Let it cover you up like death. Take a deep breath. Let it cover you up like death. Oh, don't call the family just yet. 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 very much.
Oh, man. I'm jealous. I mean, really, that is such a talent you guys got. It's great. It's great.
Thank you, Jerry.
Not just good, just great. Great.
Love that new one, you guys.
Thank you
Sounds
very much.
awesome. Will you guys let us know, please? Again, these are the Harmed brothers that are joining us, and will you guys let us know where we can hear those songs in the future once you release them, and where we can hear your stuff that's up right now too?
Well, theharmbrothers.com is a good place to start. Has links to all our Instagram and our Twitter and our YouTube. We got a lot of videos up there. And we're very much on Spotify and iTunes and all that Googleable stuff.
I can't get it on this.
Jerry's holding up his flip phone, 1977.
What,
Is that a razor,
That's
Jerry?
a razor.
No. Let me try.
No text and jive.
Not very effective.
Oh my goodness.
That's what we'd call a burner right now.
It's a burner.
Jerry got his burner phone.
Well, in my business, yeah.
Only for Ludlow. It's just Ludlow phone.
It's like I watched this Netflix thing on Bill Murray. He just has a telephone that just sits there.
Yeah.
You can only call his phone. You need to get one of those.
Yeah.
Just a phone, and he has no agent, nobody. You just call this phone. It's a 1-800 number.
Yeah.
You have an 800 number, probably. You used to.
No, yeah. No, I have a
Was it
rotated
900,
dial
yeah.
phone.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
I just got this for Christmas.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a pretty nice Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Will you guys sing us out with "Down by the Riverside" and
Well,
maybe let Jerry?
Well,
join?
we were hoping definitely that Jerry was going to sing, but we thought maybe we could get you to sing
Yes.
What?
the verse
Yeah,
too.
sure.
Yeah, you know what? Yes. In fact, you do my, because I'm taking a break.
Wait.
No,
hold on. How about
I
this?
heard you warming up earlier. You're not taking a break.
Wait,
but
I got it.
it's
Okay,
deep
how about
and sounding real good.
how
We're
about
gonna
this,
add
guys?
on one.
Okay.
You're gonna join.
Or what about this? How about Jerry and I sing at the same time, but Jerry sings harmony to me?
Oh, wow, that'll be interesting.
Wait.
Let's see if that can happen.
Where's Harmony? Harmony, come on in.
No. He sings harmony, but in the Elvis voice.
Ooh.
Yeah. Why don't I sing what I normally sing, and you figure out the harmony?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Do I do it in the
I'll
Elvis?
stand here like this so I don't get confused.
Do I do it in the Elvis voice?
I'll do it. Thank you very much.
Little blue.
We
All
both.
right.
Groove moves. Wow. You ready?
Sure.
A two. A 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna lay down my heavy load down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my heavy load down by the riverside.
You've been listening to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, recorded live at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky. Thanks to Patrick Kennedy for writing our opening song, and to you for listening. Check out our website at jerryspringer.com.
I gotta lay down with my sword and shield down by the riverside. I said, down by the riverside. Oh Lord, down by the riverside. I gotta lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. I said, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war
Bye.